Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick little speed and camera test comparison here between the G5 and the 6S Plus, so we can see if LG's latest can compare with the Apple flagship. So we wanted to basically start them both up at the same time first to see how they boot up. This is the Apple A9 versus Snapdragon 820. So I might as well shut this down. And then we can just start them both up. Go. So obviously the 6S Plus a little bit bigger than the G5, and you can see the 6S Plus doesn't mess around, and you'll notice as well there's a big difference in terms of the brightness with the 6S Plus here. Very bright on the maximum, but I don't think you can say the same here on the G5. But how do they compare in terms of the day-to-day performance? We can have a look. We're going to open up some apps and have a look at the camera, which is where I think the G5 will dominate. So we are using obviously the app drawer as well. Some people might say you shouldn't use the app drawer, but you know, that's how I prefer it at the end of the day. And you can see, I think here the iPhone seems to be a little bit faster, even though you have, you know, all the octa-core good stuff in the, I think that was the G5 there though. We'll give it that. Messaging. So again, I think the iPhone there. We do have Play Store versus App Store. Quicker again. Camera. Where's your camera at? So it didn't register my touch. We'll do that again. Camera. I think that was the G5, but only just. Very nice performance from the 6S Plus though. You know, I couldn't see the G5 really dominating it as I thought it might. Can have a look at the Wi-Fi. So both are on the same infrastructure. Start with the G5. Which gets very averagey kind of scores here on literally every test that I've done. Those antenna creases at the back don't seem to make much difference really to the performance. Wow, so you can see that is nearly 60 megabytes more on the iPhone. You know, not a good look, LG, if I'm to be honest. And when did the 6S Plus come out? It came out like 6 months ago or something. Starting to feel a bit aged, but the actual performance, you know, is still rock solid. So we can just have a look at some web browsing as well, so we can see the see if we can see anything here. So I've been looking for the LG Q voice on the G5, but I think they've gotten rid of it. Couldn't find it on the Play Store either, sorry, the App Store, LG App Store. So, you know, I was a bit disappointed with that. I did want to have a play with it, see if LG, you know, made an effort with it. So we can just have a look here at the Verge. Let's load this up. Go. Wow. So the 6S Plus there, no nonsense. And did I even click on it? I don't know. It's not really doing much. Let's try GameSpot. Go. So no questions asked with that one. Let's try one I've not been to. WWE. Let's see. And we're just gonna go to the home page. So that was the G5 that time, which is nice. And another one I've not been to, Android Police. So Android Police. That's a cool name for a website, if you ask me. iPhone. Again. 5 things I love about the LG G5. That's interesting because this guy slagged it off like me when he got it, which is weird. But I think you can see the 6S Plus is dominant here when it comes to the internet. And we can just have a look at the multitasking as well. So we can see there's a difference here. And this is 4 gigs of RAM obviously versus 2 gigs. And slight reload there on the G5, I did see that. But both of them are keeping it in memory here, which is good. I meant to open a game as well, but I forgot, so we'll do it on another one. App Store. You can see not much difference when it comes to multi, which is good. I think I do prefer the vertical way the G5 handles the multitasking a little bit more than the horizontal way. So the G5 kept this in memory, which is nice. We'll keep that in mind. But I think you can see generally they're very similar. But I think that the 4 gigs of RAM obviously in the G5 is much more kind of future-proof when it comes to down the line. iPhones tend to slow down, you know, in like 3-4 years time. We did do a camera comparison as well, so you can have a look at this. So basically we checked out the camera in the low light situation, and we did also have a look at how the wide angle lens fared. I think for the low light you can summarize that the images looked a lot brighter on the G5, but they weren't necessarily high quality. The iPhone 6s has a peculiar aperture. I think it's f2.2. Yeah, the actual quality of the low light shots are, I think, among the best, really. You know, it's not bad by any means, but I do think the G5 takes the brighter images on the low light scenario. In terms of the regular day-to-day shots, very comparable actually. I think the zoomed in shot with the G5 a little bit better when you're doing the maximum zoom, as well as the close-ups were a little bit more kind of nice blur effect in the background, but both of them do that at the end of the day, and that you know, is pretty good for how old the 6S Plus is. So you can see we did do a HDR shot as well. I think generally, I think they both take very good daylight shots, and you're not going to see too much difference there. But obviously the wide angle lens is a trump card of the G5, which makes things a lot more engrossing when you want to get more into the shot. So do bear that in mind, and do use the mode, it is there. You also obviously have the camera grip attachment as well, so you don't have to touch the screen like on the iPhone, which feels a bit weird. In terms of the video recording, you can have a look at that as well. So you can see both of them make excellent camcorder companions here, and generally, very nice camera experiences. But I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed with the G5's raw performance compared to how old the iPhone is. Still to me seems that the A9 chip has kept up with all these Qualcomm Snapdragon 820s, probably because this is the reason why Qualcomm are going to be releasing the Snapdragon 823 very soon, I've heard, or like the successor to the Snapdragon 820, because at the end of the day, people think that the competition is pretty much surpassed or caught up with Qualcomm's offerings. In terms of the actual experience of the LG G5, it gets the job done, but in terms of the screen brightness, etc., I think the iPhone feels like a more well-rounded kind of phone here. Also, the actual build quality, the metallic design on the iPhone feels more solid, even though obviously we do know it's metal underneath. They've kind of made it feel more plasticky though, which is very weird decision. So, and also you do get your fingerprint scanner on the front as well versus the fingerprint scanner on the back. Very subjective which one you do prefer there. Yeah, just a quick little comparison here between these two. Hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.